Hey, what's up, fearless followers? It's Josh, and I'm here with your word of the day, and we're looking at 2 Kings 5, where we're jumping to a new story now about a man named Naaman and a servant girl, and the prophet Elisha, not Elijah, like we've been reading, but Elisha, the one who came after Elijah. And this is a really cool story, and there's a lot of interesting pieces about it, some of which we'll get a chance to talk about on the weekend, some of which we won't. So maybe we'll talk about a few things here that we wouldn't necessarily get to talk about in our teachings. And the first thing that we see is that Naaman is the commander of the armies of Aram, and he has favor with the king because this is super interesting. He's a Gentile, and he has favor with the king because through Naaman the Lord has given victory to Aram. So I mean, when you think about that, that's pretty cool. That God has shown favor to Naaman and given victories to Naaman, even though he's a Gentile. That should be an indication, as we read this story, that God is going to do something really interesting in Naaman's life, something extraordinary in Naaman's life. And we read that though he is a brilliant soldier, he has leprosy. And so immediately we move from, this is a really important guy, God's shown him favor, to he has an incurable disease that will eventually claim his life. And here's the interesting part for the story. So Naaman has leprosy, and he is this great commander who has everything he wants, and he has privilege, and he has power, and he's popular, and the king loves him. And yet he has this disease that when he is found out and when the disease starts to take hold of his body, he will become a pariah and he will be outcast. In fact, everything that he's used to, as far as his privileges and his power, everything will be taken away, because in those days they believed that that lepers were outcasts. And it leads us into this interesting thought about leprosy in the Old Testament and even the New Testament, and how oftentimes when Jesus would heal someone of leprosy, it was, for lack of a better word, a metaphor of Jesus healing their souls, or saving them from sin and death. It was always this kind of foreshadowing of what Jesus was going to do. Leprosy was like being a walking dead person. At some point it was going to claim your life, and it was going to take everything from you. You just didn't know when. And we see here with Naaman, he needs God, and he doesn't even know it yet. He needs God's salvation, and he doesn't even know it yet. And it makes me think a little bit of the people in our lives who don't know Jesus and yet need him so badly. How many people do we know that are walking this, Kathy Dreyer, one of our teaching pastors, says, walking this spiritual death, that they have this spiritual leprosy where maybe they are not sensitive to sin and sensitive to the issues in their life that are slowly consuming them, but at some point will lead to disaster or devastation, and they need God's help. And we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to tell them about Jesus. In fact, we're going to talk about that this week, that we have an opportunity to share the source of life with them. And so I think about that. I think about some of the people in my life who don't know Jesus, and are just, for lack of a better word, lack of a better term, slowly dying without him. And maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they don't even see it. Are we looking for the opportunities to share with them the goodness of God and the love that he has for them? That's my thought for you today. That's the word. I'm out.